Hi, Jen Baker here. There was a promise that was put in my heart from years back, from before I was even born, that I'm beginning to see God bring to fruition now. And I believe every person has promises that God has given them. Each one of us have promises that God has put in our heart from the beginning of time that He wants to carry out through a legacy of our lives. And yet what happens is disappointment and fear and life comes about, and suddenly you're looking at your promise and you're thinking, how can this happen? You know, there are promises in my life that I'm still waiting on 30 years later. What do you do when there's a promise that you feel God has given you and yet it looks impossible? Do you hold on to it? Do you let it go? Do you blame God? What do you do? In the book, The Power of the Promise, we look at the promises that God has given us, and we look at the 6 different stages that a promise goes through and what you need to do in each stage to move to that next stage. We look at how to trust God when it looks like He's let you down. We look at disappointment. We look at promises that you know will never look like what you once thought they would look like. But we also bring in the hope and the faith and the goodness of God. And we have seen, and I have seen in my life, how God turns promises that I thought would go one way, a completely different direction, for something far greater than I could have ever dreamed or imagined. I believe this book can help us deal with the disappointments in life. It can help us persevere and hold on when we want to give up. And it can help us trust a loving God to see us through to the promises He has put in your life, for the dreams that you're holding on to. My prayer for this book is that it would take you from where you are into where God wants you to be. And it's the best possible life you could ever dream of.